Hey guys, and welcome back to another FM22 Transfer Guide with me, Dan-Axel FM, where today we are going over 3 signings and 3 sales for Atletico Madrid, a side that have just won the La Liga for the first time since all the way back in 2014. So now it is time, with Real Madrid not being quite the same side they have been in the past, and Barcelona going through a lot of issues. It's time for us, Atletico Madrid, to take the bull by the horns and take charge of Spanish football, and we can absolutely do that by making a couple of intelligent signings and a couple of intelligent sales to help us improve our squad. If that sounds like something you guys would be interested in learning about, make sure you do smash the like button on today's video, as well as subscribing to the Dan-Axel FM YouTube channel so you don't miss the daily Football Manager content coming your way with this series, as well as Let's Play series at all times on this channel. In terms of what the board want you to do, though, they don't quite have the same expectation that I do, but to be fair, they do want you to challenge for the title, so it's not quite winning it, but they understand that there is some serious competition in this league, but I think that you can definitely do it in the first season. They, however, do want you to reach the semi-final in the Champions League, but they don't care about the Super Cup. They only want you to sign young players to develop for a profit, and they want you to work with the wage budget and strive to make progress on and off the pitch. So not a whole lot going behind this team, but they do have high expectations in terms of what they want you to do in the league. And I would say they probably need to give you a wee bit more money if they want you to be doing that, because I know for a fact that Real Madrid have some serious dough, and we don't quite have that amount of dough. But it just means that we're going to have to be more intelligent with our sales, especially considering the fact that we only get 55% of our transfer revenue. That is horrific. So let's sell some big boys. Let's get some serious money into this bank account, and then we can make some intelligent signings. The first player leaving this club is Hector Herrera, a man that's been here for a couple of years, but never been that insane for Atletico Madrid in real life. Definitely a good footballer, but coming in on a free 3 years ago, playing a decent amount of games, not really needed that much anymore. Got really nice stats, to be fair to him, but at 31 years of age, he's not going to get a lot better, if anything at all. I think he's probably going to get worse, and it's currently valued at around £20 million, which is not a bad fee at all to be able to get for an aging man who isn't even going to be a starter for you, with players like Llorente in there and Koke. I'd say that Llorente is a wee bit more ahead, so we'll compare him to Koke and see the comparison. And Koke does have a wee bit more about him, unfortunately. Herrera, definitely a decent player, but not for this save. I think it's time to cash in on an older player that isn't going to start for you this year. In this save, unsurprisingly, he's gone to Newcastle for a grand total of £22 million, and I'm quite happy with that fee. I don't think many other clubs would have been willing to pay that amount for him, so I'm absolutely stoked that Newcastle came a knocking, and we've got that straight into our bank account. Now we've got £13 million to be able to spend on a better central midfielder or different positions that we need to improve upon. So more than happy to get rid of him, and he's probably more than happy to be an important player and earning double what he got at our club. The next player that is leaving the club is Ivan sqaud. This man, the Serbian striker, who isn't good at all. And I've already got bids in from him because for some reason simulated forward a few days after that before I started the record. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. But we've managed to get him out of the club eventually. But for now, we're just taking a look at him, and it's clear that he's not Atletico Madrid quality. Currently, he's a fringe player. I don't think he should be making any appearances for you, though. He came in for £450,000, didn't quite reach the potential that it looked like he might reach, I imagine, when they bought him. And yeah, if you compare him with other players that we have in the striker position, for example, Correa, who I would say is your absolute lowest choice striker, which is saying a lot about our striking options. Yeah, it's pretty day and night as to who we'd want starting. I mean, if you want a header of the ball, keep him around, but I don't see any reason why you'd want a header of the ball that only has 13 heading. And overall, not a great player, not worth keeping around the football club, and I think it's definitely time for him to go. We did end up selling him to a League One club, Reims. Don't think I'm saying that right at all, but I know that we have sold him for £1.8 million, which is a decent profit for a man that, as I said, is nowhere near the quality that we need for this club, especially if we're pushing for Champions League places. Like, realistically, if he's a squad rotation player for this League One club, he's definitely not going to be a starter at any point in his career for Atletico Madrid. And the final player that we're selling is an aging player who is definitely world class in real life, and to be fair, not bad at all in Football Manager. But at 32 years of age, with the centre back options that we've got, Felipe is the man that I'm selling, and he's currently worth a decent fee of £30 million. That would be absolutely amazing to get from, and he has been at the club for not a whole lot of time once again, coming from Porto once again, but unfortunately it is time for him to go. At 32 years of age, he's not going to get a lot better, if not better at all, and he's potentially not even a starting centre-back for you. He definitely has a bit of ability about him, but if we go to the centre-back page, we can see that we do have a lot of options in there. Savic, Jimenez, Hermoso, as well as Llorente, who can apparently play in that position. So those three straight off the bat are going to be a fierce competition for it, and him being the oldest, I would say, puts him pretty low in the pecking order in my opinion. So for that reason, I think he's the man that's going to be leaving the club. Felipe for £30 million, that would be a brilliant fee to be getting. In this save, he's gone to Villarreal, and it was unfortunately only for £10.75 million. However, I did get a bid very early on in the save for £30 million from, of course, Newcastle United. He did end up rejecting the offer, so I think if you do it a wee bit better, work a bit more intelligently than I did, you can get a better fee than £10.75 million for him. I know that Juventus can also get interested in him. You can definitely get a decent fee. Unfortunately, I did not, so that has kind of stunted my transfer opportunities. But now, with all those transfers done, of course, we have to half the fees. So we get £1 million from the second signing. We get about £10 million from the first one and about £5 million from this one. So we have just under £20 million to play with, which really isn't the amount I wanted coming into this, but it's what we've got. It's going to be a challenge, but we need to find out where we need to improve before we go splashing the cash. With all those players gone, this is what our team is looking like right now, and it is still a very strong 11 with some world-class players in there. Personally, I wouldn't have Hermoso playing at the left-back position just because I think he is a lot more suited to the centre-back position. So I would probably be partnering him with Jimenez in there, and of course putting Lodi at left-back because he has got the level of ability that is required to be a really good left-back option for this club at 23 years of age as well. Looking very tasty indeed. In terms of the squad depth screen though, my favourite screen, we can see a wee bit more about what we need for this club. And starting off with the striker position, I think Luis Suarez, Griezmann and Correa are plenty of options for you up in that position. So I think you're already sorted for that. And the left wing, right wing, same sort of idea. You know, Griezmann, Correa, De Paul, Carrasco. Even Suarez apparently can play out there. You do have a couple of reoccurring players in those positions, but I think overall you do have enough cover. You probably would be starting with Suarez, Griezmann out here, Carrasco out here, and then Felix up in cam. So you'd have De Paul and Correa as your rotation option. I think there's enough of options for you to begin the season for sure. You also have a couple of other players that can do a job there. For example, we've got Lemar and Cunha. So plenty of options in my opinion. In central midfield, you've got Koke and Llorente, who should be your two starting midfielders. Kondogbia is a decent rotation option. De Paul could potentially slot into that position, but I would argue he's a bit more of an attacking-minded player. So maybe one more option in that position could be handy, just in case you do have an injury, because straight away Kondogbia is going to have to go in there, and then you don't have a real central midfield option. So maybe a more defensive-minded one would be really good in case you do pick up any injuries. At right back, you've got Trippier, and you've got it's VRS. Like that's just painful. But this man, who I think is plenty of cover for you if you do end up getting a knock. So those two players absolutely fine in that position. At left back on the other side though, we've only got Lodi, and I think I've already pointed out I don't think Hermoso is an ideal left back. So I think a backup left back is what you desperately need in that position. Although Lodi is a really good player, he's the only one that can do the job really well. And centre back, you've still got a bit of an issue because I did end up selling Felipe, and it does mean that you only have three options that are real out and out centre backs. So another option there would be handy. Potentially a younger one, because you do have two 26-year-olds as well as a 30-year-old. I think that's the only position you're really lacking, and in goalkeeper, you're sorted. So going over that again, we will be looking for a younger / slightly more defensive central midfielder. We've got a right back that is not needed, it is a left back that is needed, and a centre back that is needed as well. So let's go out into the market, let's find some players. Probably not going to be the most insane transfer fees of all time, but with £20 million, we can do a wee bit. The first player that we've brought in, as you all know, is Alex Grimaldo. Very happy with the way I've rhymed that, and I'm very happy with him as a left-back option. The 2.5-star current ability, I don't think gives him justice at all, because he has some incredible stats all across the board to be a world-class left-back for you for this entire save. I don't think you need to worry about left-back for quite some time with Lodi and this man. If you actually compare the two of them, you can see there's not a whole lot in it. There is a bit more of a favour for Lodi in terms of defending, aerial and speed, but then you've got the vision, the technicality and the mental play of Grimaldo. So I think it's fair to say that perhaps Grimaldo is a slightly lesser left-back option, but definitely a good going-forward player. And I think they're going to be really good competition for you going through the entirety of this save. At 25 years of age, he's not a bad option at all in terms of developing him for the future. Got a wee bit of potential in there, and he comes in for just £7.5 million. Is that not something I've mentioned yet? Oh yeah, no, £7.5 million. That's how much you're paying. Up front, though, could eventually rise to 19.5, but even that would be a very good fee for a man that is already worth 20-ish million pounds. Very happy with this signing to begin with, very happy with the price, and I'm very happy with this next signing. Dan-Axel Zagadou, a man that I feel like a lot of us have picked up in this year's Football Manager. He goes on the transfer list so often, and we have been able to pick him up for just £7.25 million with no potential fees to rise it, and that is a great fee for a young centre-back who has got plenty of ability right now and a decent amount of potential to get into the first team left, right and centre. He's a left-footed centre-back, which I think was needed in this team. I didn't really check, but I'm going to go with yes, it was needed. And he's also 6'5", an absolute tank, going to be a great rotation option for you, and being younger, he will be able to improve significantly in a short span of time. £24,500 a week as well. An absolute bargain. Across the field, this man is brilliant. If you don't like him as well, easy profit, as he's already worth about £20 million. Great signing for you, and great signing for Atletico Madrid. And the last player that we've bought in, I didn't have a lot of money after making those two signings, to be honest. So I was looking for a more defensive-minded central midfielder, and I found this man, who I think is not the most insane signing I've ever picked up, but he has definitely got the ability right now to be able to compete for places in the rotation lineup of this squad. But my favourite thing about him is that he comes in on loan for just £16,500 a week, and we've got an optional future fee of 6.25 if you like him. And I don't see why you wouldn't activate that when he's already worth between 28 and 34 million pounds. So my idea for this man is that you pick him up as soon as this loan ends, you buy him, and you sell him for a profit in a couple of years' time, because if he stays around that value, he is going to be good. He comes in from Real Sociedad, so we're getting a player off a competitor who could be a decent option for us. Definitely not a starting central midfielder, but definitely a decent one for the future as well, with 24 years of age and a decent value to make some serious profit. I think that's kind of the main thing that I thought about with these signings, because this squad is stacked. Like, it is very tasty, and if I go to the best 11, none of our players that we picked up actually make it into it. And with £20 million, you could make one signing that could improve the starting lineup, but there's no one that is desperately needed to be improved in this starting lineup. So my idea was more that I would bring in players that are going to be able to develop the team in the future, as well as potentially be sold on for a profit, because unfortunately the financial situation for this club is not insane in terms of your transfer budgets. 2 whatever million pounds you had this year and 3.3 next year, you're going to need to be selling some good players, and that is what I've done right here, right now, by signing some bargains that could be sold for a profit in the future to help you actually get some seriously impressive players. That's my thinking anyway, and they're going to be great rotation players for you at this current moment in time. You could definitely justify starting Zagadou because of his age to bring him in next to Jimenez. Is Jimenez left-footed? He's right-footed. Get it? See, we did need a left-footed centre-back, and you could definitely justify starting what's his face? Where is he? Grimaldo in the left-back position if you really like him. I think Ander is the only player that I don't think you could really justify starting, but is a decent man to rotate the squad with and to sell on for a profit, of course. I hope that those tips helped you. I hope that they were good for your Atletico Madrid save. I want you to let me know down in the comment section below who you want me to do with 3 signings and 3 sales for next, because I'm genuinely running out of like the big teams. So yeah, a couple more ideas would be handy, boys and girls. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later.